girls on enter the area. We 2 feet shut down the arena. You know one put us for corner. I'm on a danger, making the trash be mental. My boss babe to pass your level. You too sweet past sugar level. The party don't start till me and my girl show for the center. Me call man now down. Turn it up.
You must bring the heat, don't wanna know the beats now.
Hurry up.
You must follow my lead now.
We go higher to the sky. We no retire. We don't get tired. Drop it, catch your life, calculate your price. To be left but you ain't got nothing on me. Drop it, catch your life, calculate your price. To be left but you ain't got nothing on me. My girl gang. Them my girl gang. Yeah, we run down them my girl gang. Where your girl gang.
Ah, yeah.
My girl gang. Them my girl gang. Yeah, we run down them my girl gang. Where your girl gang.
Yeah.
Something where you there, but I call me something. Carry the go, your love they go. Did you turn up the stereo? One time you see us for the corner, 2 times we fit dance for the center. Every time we walk out, got that lights going right. Turn it up.
You must bring the heat, don't wanna know the beats now.
Hurry up.
You must follow my lead now.
Drop it, catch your life, calculate your price. To be left but you ain't got nothing on me. Drop it, catch your life, calculate your price. To be left but you ain't got nothing on me. My girl gang. Them my girl gang. Yeah, we run down them my girl gang. Where your girl gang.
Ah, yeah.
My girl gang. Them my girl gang. Yeah, we run down them my girl gang. Where your girl gang.
Yeah.
Girl gang, them my girl gang. Yeah, we went down them my girl gang. Where your girl gang.
Ah, yeah.
My girl gang. Them my girl gang. Yeah, we went down them my girl gang. Where your girl gang.
Yeah.
All past, don't wanna last. In fact, your present's a present, that's my gift wrap. All my gift wrap. Body hourglass, my skin color sexy. Wonder where your ass is. Penny for your thoughts, give a top to the classes. Private lessons, a little fire and compassion. Just you're coming, baby. Under, baby, love it, baby. 100 times, 100, baby. Put it in a bag, no Santa. Shake it like a red nose, ain't no prancer. Do it. Fast, faster. Do it. Fast, faster. Break it, give up, put it on center. Break it, give up, bring it. You and your nasty, you and your body. Bless you, blessing me, you are. Break it, give up, do a little quicker. Give up. You and your nasty, you and your body. Break it, give up. Give me your soul, body, mind, gimme what's yours, keep mine, get it, shawty. You know you want me, don't you lie, you know you want me. Body on God, it's skin color, yes please. Think outside the box for the box. You always give me what I want. I'ma roll it up cause I'm blunt, how you want, just you're coming, baby. Under, baby, love 100 times, 100, baby. Put it in a bag, no Santa. Shake it like a red nose, ain't no prancer. Do it. Fast, faster. Do it. Fast, faster. A great gift giver, put it on center. A great gift giver. Bring it. You a little nasty, you a little naughty. Please you listen me. You are a great gift giver. Do a little quicker. Gift giver. You a little nasty, you a little naughty. Great gift giver. Don't you see I want it, baby? Don't you see I need it? Don't you keep me waiting, baby? Don't you see I'm waiting, boy? I know you see it, but help me for the one time. Bring it. You a little nasty, you a little naughty. Bless you, blessing me. I'm the illest, rolling up like already did it. With the subs up, you better listen. Coming up, but ain't no competition. Nah, I ain't tripping. All the boys got 'em moving to my flow. Now the girls got 'em dropping low. Going through the most, cause they ain't afraid to grow. Coast to the coast, I'ma hit your radio. Dreaming about it every day. I know that now I'm finally on my way. I know that I've been on the gun, I've been telling myself to do it for me, man, and for nobody else. I'm looking, I'm liking what I see. Hit different. When a little mama got a big vision. Hit different. Aiming high, baby, I go the distance. I've been putting in work, putting in time, putting me first. Now my whole life hit different. With the bang, ready. Hit different. Ooh, over there, who's the hot one with the long hair? Looky. Ooh, that's me. Mirror, showing them a bad bitch. And I don't see the girl that I fell, so down and out on herself. A total mind and body globe, down in every cell. Living it up, ooh. And I'ma go and killing it, cause it's just what I do. Dreaming about it every day. I know that now I'm finally on my way. I know that I've been on my gun, I've been telling myself to do it for me, man, and for nobody else. I'm looking, I'm liking what I see. Hit different. When a little mama got a big vision. Hit different. Aiming high, baby, I go the distance. I've been putting in work, putting in time, putting me first. Now my whole life hit different. With the bang, bang. Boom, bang. Boom, bada, boom, bada. Hit different. Boom, bang. Boom, bada, boom, bada. Hit different. Coming in hot, I'ma get in it. Got you feeling that bass when I'm hitting it. With the bang. Hit different. When a little mama got a big vision. Hit different. Aiming high, baby, I go the distance. I've been putting in work, putting in time, putting me first. Now my whole life hit different. With the bang, ready. Hit different.
Oh shit, my bad. Welcome back to this channel. It's Mr. Gray, the Mystic Maven. How you guys doing? When I tell you, it's always one fucking button. Every time, one of these days, and it's so funny because literally on the other side of that, I was like, "Yes, bitch, you got it right." This is the first time in a long time you finally got the production right. You got the timing right. You're hitting it right. Yes, bitch. No, we'll try again next week. How you guys doing? Welcome. Come on in. I'll give you guys a minute to come on in. Glow Glow. I don't know if Glow Glow is here. Hey, love, I came across your channel last week. So happy I did. Well, welcome. Happy to have you. Come on in. I'll give you guys a minute to, well, I guess get notified. And then come on in. Come on. How you guys doing? Did you guys have a good week? A good weekend? How was my weekend? What did I do this weekend? I don't think I did much of anything. I think I just kind of laid around. I don't actually remember what I did because I was off a lot of the days because I took off for my birthday. So a lot of those days I was off, but I don't remember what I did. I probably just slept a lot. Come on in, guys. Come on. Let me know when you're here. We'd hate for it to be a short one this week. Come on in. Raz here. Hello, and thank you for having us. Flowing well this week. Good. Still can't believe we're in the middle of the year. It's crazy, right? It happened so fast. And the next thing you know, people are going to be talking about making vision boards. Wait a minute. Did you guys make one this year? Did you do it? Is there anything that you're like ticking off? What? Hold on. Let me look at my vision board. It's up there. My vision board is on the wall and I'm looking at it and I'm trying to see, are there any things? Ooh, there are. Okay. I did some things. Did you guys do things? Come on in. You did 2 virtual ones? I like the virtual ones because they're easier to do. And then I can also like have them like on my phone, or I can like move them to like different devices and stuff like that. And see like I can't carry that damn thing around. You know what I mean? Like I have to be in here and think about it at the same time. And then be like, oh, hold on, let me look. But I like the virtual ones. Come on in while we are waiting for people to come on in. Can someone timestamp this for all the souls that get hit with that 10-minute window in the beginning? Can someone timestamp this for them whenever you get to it so they can find us, so they can find the beginning of this thing? What do we've got going on? Oh, no, wrong way. Tarot. The Fool's Guide to Tarot. You're into it. There we go. Check it out. It's on Amazon. You know, The Fool's Guide to Tarot. So if you want to learn how to read tarot, there you go. There's your guidebook. And then what else do I got going on? Oh, Substack. Started a new Substack. So if you like reading things, mysticrain.substack.com. You know? And then what else do I got going on? Oh, probably a big one. You guys probably should know. I need that. That's what I was searching for when I found you. Wait, what was? Oh, the timestamp. Yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah. Yeah. You know, you need a good window in the beginning, because that window, like the YouTube notifications don't happen necessarily. Like, for example, from the moment I hit live for when the notifications start popping up, a lot of times that is 1 minute that has gone by, right? And so you need like this buffer period before people start getting it, and then you got to wait for people to log on, and they have to see that you're just kind of on, kind of thing. You know what I mean? So you need a good buff. Like right now, this is a filibuster, right? Me talking the salutate. This is filibustering right now. We're just giving it a window of opportunity. Good. So it was a tarot book that you found. Where did you find it? Oh my God, tell me. Was it on Amazon? Was it in like a bookstore? Where'd you find it? That's so cool. You got more into pottery, wheel throwing, spending more time outdoors, and continuing to lead our employee affinity group. Basically, my intention for this year is to be more bold. Dare to be bold. I love that. And how is the employee affinity group going? Are you leading like a baddie? You know? How's it going? I love that for you. Glugla, where'd you find a book? I'm so curious. I'm always curious about when people like stumble across the thing, like where was it, And it's always interesting to find like where it popped up for people. So that's so like, I think that's just so cool. What else was I saying? Oh, and if you wanted a spiritual advisory session, but you've been sitting on it for a little bit and you're like, maybe I'll do it later. We're thinking about it, whatever. I would recommend it. First of all, they open back up in July, but I would recommend that you go ahead and you book a time sometime soon, because I'm actually going to phase that out and it's going to be replaced with something else. And when it's replaced, there's going to be an extra zero that's tacked on the back of that cost. And so, come one, come all for right now, because once it's gone, it's going to be gone. So just letting you guys know if it matters to you. You need the book. I was searching YouTube for the meanings of tarot cards. Oh, that's how, okay. Which, by the way, is how a lot of people stumble across our little corner over here on the internet. It's usually like tarot is like the gateway. And then we're working on increasing engagement, so coming up with ways to make it more fun and enjoyable in a virtual work from home environment. I love that. I love that for you. That's so awesome. I was, what else did I have going on? I got invited to do an interview for Bold Journey magazine. It's like a new thing that they're doing, like a new project. And it's for and they're like reaching out to people who, well, I guess have some kind of bold journey and some sort of entrepreneurial, businessy kind of thing. Like people who like do that kind of stuff, like whatever it is, whatever the industry is, it doesn't seem to matter. It's just like people who are in that space that are trying to figure out how to make things happen for themselves kind of thing. And one question that was on it was, how did you overcome imposter syndrome? And I was like, honestly, well, first, I will say, I think I only just recently came over a hump. Now, is 6 months going to go by and I'm going to realize I have a lot more work to do? I'm not entirely sure. Congrats, that's awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm not entirely sure, if I'm going to wake up crying one day and then be like, I can't do it. Because, sometimes you have these moments, right? But I was laughing because I was like, I find imposter syndrome to be like the weirdest thing. And I'm really curious about like who coined that term. Yeah. Howdy. How you doing? But yeah, I find like imposter syndrome to be weird. Mochi, Mystic, what's going on with your book? Or did you already talk about that? I did not talk about that. We'll come back to imposter syndrome. The book is booking. It just has to go through the process, So just got it back from like a round of edits from the editor. Now I have to then go through it again and then confirm whether or not I think it needs to go back for another round of edits or not. It's really weird because this is probably the 20th time I've read the whole thing. And when you're writing, you know what? Have you ever looked at a word too long and the word lost its meaning? Like, it doesn't matter what the word is. Like, suddenly it doesn't make sense anymore. And you think to yourself, wow, is that really how he organized the letters? Like, the word falls apart, like mentally when you look at it too long. That's what happens with like when you're writing. Like the manuscript falls apart when you've looked at it too many times. Suddenly the words lose meaning. And the more you do it, the longer it takes to do it. Like each time you read it, it gets harder and harder to read it because you it just loses meaning. It's so bizarre because the first few times you do it, you're like, yeah, this is awesome. And then eventually you're like, I don't remember, why am I doing this? And so it's funny because like, it's just like, it's so like, suddenly you can't see, you know what I mean? Everything needs to be magnetized because you're like, what? And then you're in this phase where you are over editing most likely. And that's where we are now. You know, it just has to go through the steps. I have a designer working on the cover and the graphics for it too. And so like it's in the process, like it's in the production process. It's just we got to make it through the steps. One thing that I'm like super like hell bent on is like, even though I'm doing it and we could in theory move it faster because I mean it's what I say I want, I'm like hell bent on making sure that it hits all parts of what books hit in publishing, right? Like making sure that it's like following each and every one of the steps, and then if it's not right, we're doing it again, kind of thing. And that it's like actually like going through the actual process. And when you're doing it and you're not trying to rush it, it takes a little bit of time. It takes a little bit of time. It takes a little bit of time. So, but it's moving. It's moving. It's good. It's moving. Yeah. Hey, Judy. That word for me is enough. I don't remember what word. I don't remember what I said. Mochi, I feel that way when I'm editing my music, but you've got this. Your book is amazing, and I'm looking forward to reading it. Thank you. And you get me. Like you get me. There's like it's not a wall, but there's like a point you hit where you've gone too far. There's like when you've listened to it too much, you've gone too far. And it's so interesting. It's like the point of no return. Like you're like up, super excited about it. Man, this is good, you know? And then you hit and you don't really know when that point happens. But then once you hit it, you can't go back. And it probably feels like it doesn't sound the same, where you can't hear it properly in the way that you used to, or maybe you're hearing it too much. And all the little elements start to fall apart and break apart. And suddenly it doesn't make any sense anymore. And then you have these moments where you're like, I thought this was good. Why did I think that was good? So I'm in this phase where I'm like, okay, I have to like separate author and publisher, and I have to like veto myself, where I'm like, no, this is a publisher decision. This is no longer an author decision. Author, go sit down. Like author Mystic Rain, go sit down. This is no longer your lane. And then, so I find myself now I'm asking publisher questions, right? A publisher question is it readable, right? Like a publisher question is it publishable? Can it go out today? A publisher question isn't, would this sentence be better if it's a comma? Should I rearrange this one quote, kind of thing, right? Like I have to like separate it and then just decide just to stop writing and just that it's done. And so it's a really interesting process. You were talking about the words you see and they look strange. Self-publishing is so much harder than I thought. You know, it's really interesting because I meet a lot of people that say it's hard. I don't know if I think it's hard or if it's just new things, you know? Like when I first got into it, I was like, oh, this is going to be hard. And then I was like, actually, it doesn't have to be hard. I'm still one that believes that things are hard only because you make them hard, but that there's always an easier way to do something. And if something feels hard, that means you've complicated it, right? And so I was like, what's the easiest way to do this? What's the easiest way to do this? And I always revert, what's the easiest way to do this? The moment things feel hard, what's the easiest way to do this? Even when it comes to like in my day job with the teams that I lead, when they come to me and they're like, I'm having a hard time with this, I don't know how to fix this problem, I always start by saying to them, what is easier for you? What's the easiest thing for you to do? When they go, should I do this or should I do that? I always say, what's the easiest option for you? Do the easy thing and then build out the system around the easy thing. Don't do the hard thing. I have no interest in doing the hard thing, you know? And so what I realized, at least for me, when it comes to publishing, it's not that it's hard, it's just that it's new. And then once you kind of wrap your mind around the process a couple of times, then it just becomes a process that you redo again and again and again and again, kind of thing, right? So maybe that could help, you know, maybe reframing it from being hard to just like being new, and that you're just still picking up on the information, you know? Sometimes we think we don't know something and that makes it hard, as opposed to just it being what it is, which is that we just don't know something. Maybe it's not hard. Maybe we just don't know, and maybe we'll figure it out later, kind of thing. So yeah, but book is fine. The book is fine. It's coming along. It's working its way through the process. And then part of that process too, which is probably why it's taking the time frame that it's taking, is that this is also me finding the editors that I'm going to be working with, like for like the publishing house, right? This is also like I'm vetting people at the moment. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you're good. We're going to keep you. You're, you can be on a second speed dial kind of thing. You know, oh, that one, that's not very great. So I'm also like sourcing and then like compiling vendors and stuff like that. And so I'm using myself as like the guinea pig to do that. I also have somebody else that's being used as the guinea pig for that as well. But like, yeah, you know, I digress. Anyway, back to imposter syndrome, right? So I always found imposter syndrome, like the idea of imposter syndrome is kind of funny to me. And I think it's funny to me because like people will say, I don't want to do this thing because I feel like I'm making it up. Or like, I feel like I'm a fraud, or I feel like it's not real, or I feel like, you know, I'm not being real if I were to try to do this thing or say this thing or act this way. But the weirdest thing about imposter syndrome is that like, I feel like people don't really get that that's the point. Like, this is the biggest game of make-believe that has ever make-believed. Like, the only thing we're doing is playing pretend. And so the idea of like imposter syndrome is weird to me because it's like, this is make-believe. Just make the shit up. You know what I mean? Like, you get a lot farther, a lot faster if you just allow yourself to make shit up. You guys watch me make shit up all of the time. I literally came on the internet and I was like, guys, I am now Mystic Rain, the Mystic Maven. And y'all were like, yeah, all right, cool, no problem, fine. Totally, got it. Nice to meet you, Maven. I could have been like, I have imposter syndrome for adding on the Maven thing, right? Because the Maven means expert. So I could be like, I have imposter syndrome by trying to call myself that. But like, okay. The only thing that you really have to do in life in general is just decide that you're going to do the thing and then do the thing. It's really just a declaration. And then once you make the declaration, things reorganize around you and reality will sort of bend and shift around you in order to uphold the declaration, right? As true, right? Like you can be someone that has always had this idea that you wanted to be a fashion designer. And maybe you just didn't pursue it because you're like, I don't know how to do it or what I would do first. And the thing with information is that information does not come to you prior to you start moving. You have to start moving for information to come to you. Why would information come to you prior to you moving if you're not actively doing anything with the information? You're just clogging up brain space when you don't need to clog it. Like you're not actively using the information at that moment. So it's not going to necessarily come to you because you don't really need it, right? It's not until you start moving that the answers start to show up. So a lot of times people wait for the sign and then they use a sign as like permission to then move. Whereas it actually works the opposite way where you move and then everything starts to show up. The signs start coming and then you get validated for moving kind of thing. Jerry Blossom says, oh, does that mean you're hiring lately? I've been entertaining the thought of a creative side hustle. Right now I'm scoping. So right now I'm like really like, who am I gonna work with? Who would I want to work with? Who's a vendor? Like who are we working with on a consultant basis? It's more so like that is what we're doing and seeing like, does it fit the brand that I'm working on kind of thing? Because some people may be really, really good, but it may not necessarily slot in nicely with like the message that I'm trying to disseminate. Right? Because there is like a message behind like what it is that I'm doing. So there's also like, do you fit that kind of thing? It needs to slot in a certain kind of way. And so we're just going to let it slot however it falls kind of thing. While Daisy says, oh my gosh, I catch you live. I'm from Sydney, Australia. Welcome. Welcome in. We're glad to have you. Right? So listen, back on imposter syndrome, you have to do things first in order for reality to move. And then that is when you're going to feel like you belong in that space, right? So like when I was saying about the fashion designer, like you can be someone that like always thought about it, but never knew what to do. And so you never moved on it because you didn't know what to do next. right? But you've always held the dream of like wanting to be a fashion designer. Whereas the right order is to decide you're going to do it, regardless of the fact that you know what to do. It's okay that you don't know what to do, right? You're just going to adapt the mindset that you're going to figure it out and that it's going to come to you. But the first step is deciding that you're going to do it and then being okay that you don't know how to do it yet, right? So you start with deciding and then you just kind of like declare to the universe. And you can declare in your heart and then or declare in your mind, you know, kind of thing. Like, and then suddenly you're a fashion designer. Like if you went on the internet and then like, I don't know, posted a short or a reel or something, and then you introduced yourself as a fashion designer, the people who scroll and then they stumble across that video, they only know you as the fashion designer. That is their only frame of reference for who you are and what it is that you do. They're not thinking like, oh, this person did this back in the day. Da, 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 da. Like that's not a thought, right? The people that know you, if you say to them, I'm a fashion designer now, they go, oh, word, that's cool. When did you start? What are you working on? What's going to be your first project? People will immediately reorganize to accommodate whatever your newest version is. And then reality will immediately organize and bend to accommodate whatever that newest version is, right? Like, again, even with me, I came on here and I was like, I'm a publisher now. And y'all went, yeah, cool. Okay, cool. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You immediately reorganized and then went, that's what she said she is. That's what she is now. Cool. We love it. We love that for her, right? That is how it works. You declare it first, or you decide first, declare it publicly or not. It's up to you. That's not really the biggest part of it, but it's more about the decision and then the declaration, whether or not you're declaring with the universe kind of thing. And then it starts to reorganize itself. Now, the example of like posting it on social media is an example of moving, right? It's you making that decision and then now you're moving with it. And then a lot of times with social media has this thing of feeling like it's holding you accountable because you told people about it. And so it keeps you in motion. And the more you move and the more you're in motion, the more the answers fall into your lap. The more you start meeting people who are in that industry, to what industry you want to be in, or they're adjacent to it kind of thing. And then they may be able to go, oh, I know so-and-so who may know so-and-so. I'll let me connect you kind of thing, right? It starts to reorganize, but you have to decide and then move first. People wait for the sign in order to move, but the sign is waiting for you. You're the sign, you move, and then the sign comes. And then we go, oh my God, synchronicity. And then we're like, isn't that crazy? It's not, because you moved. And so reality went, oh shit, hold on. And then had to catch up because you started moving, right? Which is also, by the way, to like collapse time. Part of why things feel like they take so long is because you're waiting for the sign to move. So people will have this dream and they're waiting and they're waiting and they're waiting for some sort of like universal initiation for God to come down from the cloud and be like, right now. And then you're waiting and you're waiting. And then you get pissed because you're like, shit, it's taking forever and it's like not moving. It's because you're waiting. Like there is nothing in a universe rule that says you must wait. Like that was like something humans came up with. Like you don't have to wait. You know, the waiting is that window where we're like working through our fears, working through our insecurities, trying to convince ourselves that we can do it. That's what's happening in the waiting. But you can also like skip over it and just move and then be like, I'm going to be scared at the same time. I'm just going to be nervous with a little bit of anxiety at the same time, but we're moving this shit forward kind of thing, right? And then it just starts to reshape itself and people see you as what you say you are. People will see you as what you say that you are. I have been Mystic Rain for damn near a decade and nobody has ever questioned it. Ever. At least not to my face. So if they did question it, I'm not privy to that. No one's questioned it. Like no one's been like, you're mystic? Come on now. That is loaded with jokes. Rain with 2 N's. Also loaded with jokes. Okay. And psychic. That's loaded with jokes. And no one has ever said shit to me about it. People accept you for like with what you say that you are. They accept what you say that you are. And so sometimes we're like, I want to be this thing. We think no one's going to accept me. All you have to do is say that you're a thing, and now people accept you as a thing. It's really that simple. The problem isn't really that people aren't going to accept you as a thing. The problem is that you haven't yet accepted yourself as that thing. You feel what I'm trying to say? Joy says, watching your tarot deck video because I'm trying to learn. I love that for you. Laura, you don't work in the government anymore. I work in nonprofit. In the world of nonprofits. Yes. Yes, I do. Mm-hmm. It's my day job. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But that's just a little, a little food for thought. Now, have I ever dealt with imposter syndrome? Of course. Not as much now as I did in the past. I used to have it really, really bad in my 20s. And I think that was probably because I moved up the ranks pretty quickly, and I was very young, and I was holding roles and positions that people like work an entire career for and still can't get their hands on it before they're retired, kind of thing. And I was already sitting in those roles. And then I was Black at the same time. And so what ended up happening was that there was a lot of people that didn't like me, Men didn't really take me seriously. I was just that cute little Black girl that thinks she knows what she's doing kind of thing. And then women couldn't, depending on what the woman, white women couldn't fucking stand me. They couldn't stand me. They just couldn't do it. They just couldn't fucking do it. It was really fucking triggering for them, But during those times, you thought I had a salary from it. I do have a salary from it. That's my day job. Like, that is how I make a living. That's my profession. That's my career path. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You're right. But yeah, so back when I was in my 20s, it was hard. It was because I was really young and I was really new and I was really, really green in a lot of those spaces. And it's nonprofit, but I also want to let you know that nonprofit includes a lot of advocacy groups, so think civil rights. Nonprofit also includes campaigns and political parties. Like, political parties are also registered as nonprofits. They're a different kind of nonprofit, but they're still nonprofits. And so when I say nonprofit, that includes all of that. So I've worked in all those kind of spaces, but I was young and I was very, very green. And I made a lot of very green mistakes in terms of like how to play the game with people in politics. And they were just eating me alive. And so, I had imposter syndrome really bad during that time. Was like, and then also people didn't believe I could have that job. Like, I remember the first time I got one of those kind of jobs, someone said to me, "Do you really think you can do it?" Which I was like, what? Like, I got hired. Like, I had to go through an interview process like everybody else. And I was hired. Like, why would you ask me this question? In who I am today, I recognize that wasn't a slight against me. I think when they said that, they felt that they wouldn't have been able to do the job themselves. But at that time, I had internalized it to mean me. And then, so, I dealt with a lot of sort of imposters. Should I be in this space kind of thing? And then, and then dealing with people who undermine you. They're undermining you because you're young. They're undermining you because you're a woman. They're undermining you because you're Black, And then why I snapped out of it was I had a moment where I recognized a lot of people were asking me what I felt was like kind of insulting questions. It would be like, "Are you sure that's the right decision?" Or it would be like, or "How did you come to your decision?" There would be like this expectation that I would explain how I had arrived at a certain conclusion. People would say to me, "So what are you excited to learn about in your role?" Are there any new projects that you're picking up on that you're really excited to dig your teeth into in order to learn more about it? It was shit like that. And unfortunately, it was always coming from white women, right? And some of it do I think was microaggression-y? I do, but then I also think that some of it was just like being tone deaf kind of thing. And that snapped me out of it because one day I said to somebody, because they were like, so like, you know, what are you looking forward to learning? And I said to them, I said, this is my profession. And I was like, this is what I do for a living. No, there's nothing I'm excited about because this is my job. Like I do this job. Like, and I do it really well. Like I do it really, really, really well. Which is why I'm picked up for teams so easily. Like to find a Black woman that does what I do is a dime. Like you can't find her. She doesn't exist kind of thing, right? Like not in my, and it is very hard in my industry to find someone that does what I do. Like, do you know who the fuck you're talking to right now? And then I slapped out of it. And then the imposter syndrome kind of went away. And then you know what happened? When I started answering the questions like that, minus the fuck, one, people stopped asking me dumb questions like that, but they also interacted with me very differently. Like when I declared my space, when I told them who I was, they never questioned it again. It was never something that was up for debate again, kind of thing, right? It was very much like ooh, and I said, so what are you excited to learn? Mm-hmm. What are you excited to learn about your role? Because it looks like you're still climbing the ladder. You know? You know, or I would get like people would say dumb shit to me like, I want to, knowing that I'm also the head of HR, saying shit like, I want to talk to you about our bias practices and how we're handling diversity. I just want to make sure that we are respecting people of color. Oh, you do. Okay. So I'm not people of color. Am I not the peak person of color? Mm-hmm. What would you recommend? And let me then rip it apart and tell you all the reasons why it's wrong. Okay. But it took time. It took a little bit of embodiment. I had to realize that I was right more times than I was wrong. And then I had to realize too that I was usually more right than you was ever going to be, right? Like I had to learn how to let people fall into their own wrongness and then just look at them like, well. And then when I started to realize that like people reorganize around you when you declare your space, I just started declaring my space everywhere. And then people would just reorganize. And I went, oh, that's how this works. So we're thinking that you get permission first, that someone's going to give you permission, that when you're moving through the ranks of something, whatever that is, that maybe it's a boss or a supervisor or something that gives you permission to be fully within your authority. That's not where it comes from. Like you have to feel like you're an authoritative figure. And that is where it comes from because I wrote a post on Substack about this that mentioned a little bit of this when it comes to leadership, where people think that leadership is top down, but leadership is actually middle out because leadership starts from the inside. Leadership ripples. It's inside. It's the energy that you are creating, that you're not creating, more so generating, that's coming from you, how you hold yourself, how you walk, how you talk, your mindset, what you think and what you believe about what you are and what you're capable of doing and what you perceive your own personal power to be. And if you are someone that's like, nah, like I'm a bad bitch, and you're serious about that, that energy radiates out and that's what people pick up. So if you're moving around and you're like, and you have an energy of like, don't fuck with me. A lot of you guys are like this. You're like, I want friends, but no one wants to be my friend, because you're moving with a don't fuck with me energy, which is rippling out. And then people are passing through it, picking up on it. And that is what people are actually responding to. Okay, hold on. They just couldn't do it. Lauryn Hill said the same thing about this. She's back. Yeah, hello. I am. I felt the same in my job. They got scared when we stand our ground. Your stuff are so good. Thank you. And yeah, it's really interesting, the whole like the fear thing about like standing your ground. But I think we got to go deeper. I think it's not even about standing. I do this thing where I don't stand any ground. This is the ground. What am I standing on? This is the ground. I move from a place of like, I said what I said. No, I'm not repeating it a million times. I said what I said. I'm not over explaining it. I'm not going to justify it. I'm not engaging in a battle of wits and banter because it suits you. I said what I said. And I said what I said because this is what I do. That's why I said it. You know? And people don't ask me to repeat shit. Prior to coming into that place, like energetically, people be like, so can you explain how you came to that decision? Now it's like, I said what I said. And now everyone's like, oh, she said what she said. Everyone's like, I don't, like, I can say something and people be like, why did you do that? Like, I could tell somebody to do something and then they'd be like, I don't know. She said it. And the only thing that changed is what I allowed to ripple out. That was it. So everything is like, it's just middle out. So if you declare what you are, like what it is that you're going to be, not what you want to be, what it is that you are, what it is that you're going, like, because if you say, okay, you're using the fashion designer as like an excuse, like as another thing again, right? If you say I'm going to be a fashion designer, then you will always be in a state of like going to be the fashion designer, right? So you can like announce it on social media and be like, I'm going to be the fashion designer. And people are going to be like, okay, well, one day maybe they're going to be a fashion designer. But if you show up and you're like, I am the fashion designer, then people go, oh, okay, they are a fashion designer, right? It's semantics, but semantics make a massive difference in how your life begins to shape itself. So you got to be like super conscious, like about that. But once you declare it and you're like, this is what it is, that, I mean, reality doesn't have an option. It just kind of has to reorganize itself to fit what you just said. You know what I mean? Like it is like, it's like spiritual law or something. It just has to reorganize itself. Anyway, and then once I caught on to that, I realized, well, there wasn't a point to have imposter syndrome. And it's really interesting because so many people have it. The majority of people have imposter syndrome. And personally, I think imposter syndrome like stinks. Like it has an energetic frequency that I perceive as like, it's like stinky. Somebody else calls it, that I know, they call it energetic body odor. That when you're at a certain frequency, some energetic body odors they're kind of smelly. And I find like people with imposter syndrome stink a little bit. And I find that it happens a lot when there's a lot of people in a room. So like, you can see this with like, when you go to like events, like industry events, sometimes I'm trying to think of an example. Well, I mean, honestly, you can see it in any kind of professional event that you would go to. It doesn't matter what the industry is. And then if it's like a big conference or something and you've got like speakers or people doing talks or workshops and stuff like that, watch how people organize themselves in a room, right? And pay attention to what seats fill up first. And you'll notice that when it's a situation that involves learning new information, being taught something new, where there are speakers or experts present, people have a tendency to put themselves in back rows. They have a tendency to sit in the back because they feel afraid of going to the front, like they don't have enough information or that they shouldn't be up there. Or what if this expert or this speaker tries to engage them in conversation and they can't reciprocate, kind of thing, or that they're learning quietly, or they want to be out of people's way. And so they have a tendency to organize themselves in the back, right? And then one time I realized that, and I went, let me see something. Because there was no seats left in the back or in the middle. And I was like late. And I was like, I'm gonna go to the front. But I'm not gonna be weird about it. Because sometimes when like the only seat left is in the front, people get weird about it. They look real scared, running to the front, try to sit down really quickly and unpack their stuff, kind of thing. And I was like, let me see something, right? And so I just was holding my purse, walked up there normally with like an air of I belong in here kind of thing, and then sat down. And what I realized is that people reorganized themselves. The people in the rows quickly were shuffling to move them and their stuff out the way to make room for me, right? So they quickly reorganized in that way. The facilitators, and I've noticed this with like speakers and stuff like that, they treat you differently than how they treat anybody else that may have sat in the front kind of thing, depending on how you showed up. They treat you closer to a peer than a student. Like how you announce yourself, declare yourself, introduce yourself, how you walk into a room and what energy you decide to hold will impact how people treat you. And it will impact how they view you and how they see you and who they think that you are. And they'll create these stories in their head about what they think you are, and they don't know, but it must be something important because you're carrying yourself as an important individual. You're carrying yourself as a VIP. So they treat you as a VIP. And you can see this in almost any place. You can go into a restaurant and try anywhere where there's a lot of people. If you walk in there with the air of, and like genuinely know, I belong here. It's my birthright. I belong here. That energy ripples out from you. It starts in the middle and it comes out. It ripples out. And that energy, that frequency is what people are responding to. If you are moving through the world and you're really unsure and you're really insecure and you feel like maybe you shouldn't be there or you're in the way, that's rippling out from you. And what happens? People don't look at you. People may ignore you. You may try to speak up and ask a question and people don't hear you because you are putting out that you don't belong in that room, that you don't belong in that space. And so people in reality have reorganized itself to reflect back to you that you don't belong in that space. The thing that changes whether or not you belong in a space and whether or not you don't is you. But what happens is that people are waiting for permission. They're waiting for an invitation to belong, to be allowed to be there, to be allowed to follow their dreams, to follow their goals, their passions, to be allowed to lead. You're waiting for permission instead of just like declaring, right? And this is why imposter syndrome happens, because in the few times that you do get the permission, you haven't come to it internally yourself that you belong in that space. So now you've gotten the permission to be in that space, but now you feel like you shouldn't be. And this is imposter syndrome because you never did the work to declare that you belong in that space. So now you're sitting there being like, can I do this? Can I do that? Can I say this? Can I say that? Is it okay if I speak up? I mean, you're trying to speak up, but your voice is mousy. So no one is hearing you. Or maybe you are projecting your voice, but everything you're saying, people are misunderstanding everything it is that you're saying. And you're like, I don't get it. Like, I feel like I'm clear. Your words may be clear, but the frequency isn't. And so people are responding to frequency. They're not necessarily responding to words. We respond to the frequency before we respond to words. That's why someone can say something to you and you can be like, what you mean? Like, what the fuck was that? Like, what did you mean by that? And they're like, what? Oh my God, I'm so sorry. That's not at all what I meant. And you're like, but you had a tone. There was something about it. There was something about what you said. It's because you responded to the frequency. You didn't respond to the words. Yes, I definitely need to work on my resting bitch face. I need to get to that point in my life. Glow. It's not a destination. It's also not a journey. It's a decision. It's a decision that you can make right now. It's a decision that you can make right now that's who you now are, even if you don't know, even if you feel like you don't know how, even if you feel like you don't know what the next step would be, it doesn't matter. You make the decision right now that that's who you are, and then you let people and reality reorganize to meet you, because it will. It's a decision, because it's a state of being. It's not a state of doing. We think we have to do something. It's not. You're not doing anything. You're just being, right? So you make the decision to be, And then people and reality reorganizes itself in order to accommodate that. But you don't have to get to it. It's not necessarily a point in your life because it's not a destination and it's also not a journey. It's just a decision. This is what it is now. This is what I am now. This is how it's going to go now. And then don't worry about the rest of it, right? Let everything else, because it's frequency, right? So what's a better way to explain this? Because it's a frequency, there's nothing that needs to be done. There's nowhere that you need to go, and there's nothing that you need to do. It's just a frequency, and you get to that frequency by choosing it. In the same way, when you are in the car and the radio is playing and you want to hear a different song, you don't drive the car somewhere to get to that song, right? Like you just like make a decision. And then whoop, then now you got a new song kind of thing. It's a frequency. And you get to different frequencies by choosing the frequency. Cherry Blossom says, thank you. This is good information. I'm going to test it out at a conference I'm going to later this year. Yes. And observe. Watch how people organize themselves naturally. The majority of them are feeling like they're an imposter. The majority of them will feel like they probably shouldn't be in the room, or they won't understand why they're there or how they ended up there. And then what comes from that is these beautiful feelings of deep insecurity and fear. And that's what starts to stink. Once you observe it and you peep it, every time you see it, it feels stinky. Like you look at it and you go, because it's deeply unpleasant, particularly when it's a lot of people, because it's the same frequency being expanded and it's a very uncomfortable frequency to sit in. And so it's very stinky. Laura says, golden talk, girl. Do you have any recommendations for public speaking anxiety? I'm confident of when I feel like I'm among peers, but my brain does a weird switch when I'm in front of people on a stage, in real life, or online. First thing is to slow down and breathe. Slow down and breathe. Public speaking is funny because when you are doing it, everyone's looking at you, and the majority of people have blank look on their faces. And it's very easy to interpret that as people are not interested in what it is that you're saying, or that you're boring people, or that you're doing something wrong. When a lot of what's happening is that people are hearing what you're saying and then it's processing. And so because the brain is processing a lot of information. And then so when that's happening, there's also not a lot of feedback that's happening. And so you can't tell what's happening if you're like on the right track or not. And then we start to fill in the blanks, feeling like we're like on the wrong track kind of thing, when that's really not what's happening at all. It's just processing. So slow down, breathe. When you get nervous, you stop and you breathe. Some people don't take a sip of water. I don't do that because one of my biggest fears is that I'll choke on it in front of people. So I don't do that. But it's slow down and breathe. Those are the biggest things. If you slow down, you're less likely to trip over your words, right? If you slow down, people can understand what it is that you're saying. And if you're breathing, then you're not every time you're trying to talk, and then you're pausing naturally at certain natural points kind of thing. Just slow down. It's your space. It's your moment. It's like your stage. You just got to slow down, right? That's the biggest thing. Be okay with pausing. Be okay with silence. Sometimes what happens is that we speed through because like we don't want to leave holes. We don't want the silence to be there, but especially when there's a lot of people around. The silence feels big. It feels very pregnant. I've heard someone say before, like a pregnant pause kind of thing. And when it's very pregnant, people feel like they got to fill it with stuff. Let it be pregnant. Let it pause kind of thing. If you're trying to figure out how to have people be more engaged, storytelling, or invite them into what it is that you're saying. You know, you can be like, let me tell you about the lesson I learned when I stubbed my toe. At that point, you're talking at people. Have any of you ever stubbed your toe? Now it's a conversation. Now people are like, actually, as a matter of fact, I did last night. Bye, Glow, if you're still in here. But it's slowing down. But it's slowing down. Even for me, it's slowing down. Like whenever I gotta talk, I gotta slow down. If I find myself speeding up and then I'm running out of breath, I stop. Like I just stop. If I have forgotten what I've said, I say to people, give me a second. And then I also ask for help. I do it a lot on here too. What was I saying? I do that. And I do it in real life too. And then also remember that the fact that you're the one talking, you're doing what the majority of people who are watching you or sitting in front of you would never actually do themselves. The fact that you even was like, someone give me the mic. You are leaps and bounds ahead of everybody else. Like leaps and bounds ahead, because people would never, ever, ever do it. And then you got some people who would love to do it, but they feel like they're never given the opportunity to do it, you know, kind of thing. Or maybe they don't know what they want to say. Be okay with like making a mistake because you're human. Be okay that you forgot to say something because you're human. Like be okay with just being you in that moment. You don't have to be something special. You don't have to like perform. Just like talk at your regular pace and cadence, you know? Just be you. So much of it is like we get up there and we think we have to be this kind of person and show up a certain kind of way. And then we get nervous and confused and we're like, well, how do I do that? And you're asking, how do you do that? Because you're trying to figure out how to do everything other than just be yourself. Like just be you. And that will solve any problems of like talking too fast, forgetting to breathe, because you're doing what you would naturally do anyway. And then also practice. Sometimes you just got to do it enough times. And then it eventually becomes like second nature kind of thing. You just talk and it stops being about public speaking and now you're just talking. You know, one job I used to work at, they used to laugh because whenever I saw a mic, it was my time. Ooh, I used to love when we did conferences because there would be mics available. And because, you know, I was usually running the ship, I used to get one. And they would laugh at me because I would sit there in the, I wish I had a regular mic, but I used to just be like, how's everyone doing? I can't even finish. Y'all doing all right? Like it was stand up. And they would be like, what are you doing? And I would be like, I'm just enjoying the sound of my own voice right now. And I was like, there's nothing I love better than hearing my voice projected into rooms. Like the sound system and it's like the speakers and it's just like coming out of walls and shit. I'm like, that's my time. And they would laugh at me. Tips on funneling. Where are my readers? I know I bought them, but I haven't done a good job of wearing them. And funneling, maybe funneling in our feminine energy more. Funneling. Is that a typo? Tips on funneling in our, I think it's supposed to be funneling in our feminine energy more. Well, first, what is your definition of what feminine energy is? I ask because my definition, I find, is not typically mainstream. I don't have a mainstream definition of what femininity is and what it means to be feminine. From my perspective, I find true feminine energy to be powerful, to be wise. And I find that we look at wisdom and power to be masculine. So I'm better suited to help you when it comes to wisdom and power because that's my viewpoint. But if you're thinking more so along the sense of like soft femininity, oh, I'm not your girl. I don't know how to do that. Mostly because I have no desire to be soft. I don't think that I'm hard. I think that I'm me. But I don't have a desire to play soft if the current environment doesn't warrant it. Kind of thing, you know? So you gotta tell me, like, what is your definition? That's the Gemini in you. Thank you. Slowing down is a good reminder, and being myself is so obvious, but very, very helpful. Yeah, and it's something that we don't even like consider. Also, there is no standard with public speaking about skill. At least I've noticed that. Like the style varies greatly. Some people are super engaging, some people are super boring, but that doesn't impact whether or not that person speaks or not. What impacts it is whether or not they took the mic. And people will listen. And what I found is that it may not be my style, but it's somebody's style, and all speaking works for somebody. Mm-hmm. Narive, you're late. That's okay. That's okay. But that's what I would say when it comes to speaking. It's mostly just slowing down, letting pauses be pregnant, you know, being okay if you made a mistake, and then being able to like laugh it off and be like, all right, back to what I was saying, and not taking yourself and what you're doing too seriously. The moment you start to take it really serious is the moment it just gets out of hand. Mm-hmm. Ooh, following on from the imposter syndrome thing, I learned something today. It's loosely related, but I'll circle back. If I remember, I'll circle back and you'll see where I'm going. You're going to have to follow the bouncing ball here. So with publishing, I belong to like a decent amount of like memberships, and I go to a lot of different like meetings and stuff like that, you know, as I'm learning about the industry and like industry standards and industry norms and different things like that. And so I had a meeting today. I'm not going to tell you with like what publisher, but I have some feedback, and I think it's really important because I think it applies to a lot of things. I don't think it's just like writing specific, but I do think that what I noticed and observed in the feedback I'm going to share with you impacts how a lot of people move. And if people had this information, they probably would move a lot differently, right? So what I'm about to say is not supposed to be like criticism. It's just observation about like how traditional publishing works. Long story short, you got the old guys who are traditional publishers, the ones that make all the money, and they've been around for over 100 years, and they literally were like printing things with the printing press, with the actual printing press. And they've just been in the game that long. They have all the connections, and that's why they make so much money, right? And they are very conservative and very elitist. Very elitist in terms of how they go about what gets chosen and what doesn't get chosen, right? In terms of like what they'll publish and what they won't publish. But one thing I learned today is that they'll pick somebody to publish, and then there can be somebody else that had a very similar idea and had a very similar book. But they'll pick the other person anyway. And then the person who didn't get picked will walk away, throw their entire dream in the garbage, think that maybe they were never supposed to be a writer, think that their work isn't any good and that nobody wants to read it. And then their dream goes up in flames. But like the way I view it is like, no, if somebody else got picked and your ideas were similar, what that shows you is that it's proof of concept. The spots were just limited, right? It's just proof of concept. And then when it went deeper into, well, why does some people get picked, not others? What I've observed is that it's a very hypocritical system. In the sense of that, they'll say things like, you should have a big platform in order to be published. And then they'll go ahead and pick somebody that has no platform. And then when you're like, well, what? Like, how does that happen? Then they'll be like, well, no, this person has this other thing. Maybe they have a degree. And then it's like, so that person doesn't need a platform. So why did you tell a bunch of people that they need a platform? And then they threw their dream in the garbage because they didn't have a platform, thinking that it would never happen for them. And then you go and you pick somebody who does not have a platform because of some arbitrary reason. And you know what I realized? They're making this shit up. All of these people that we think are gatekeepers, whatever it is, whatever the industry is, they're making this shit up. There is no consistency whatsoever. It's a bunch of people in literally any industry that are idealistic, who have somehow crowned themselves as the one that is able to make rules, and they're making shit up, and they change the rules based on whatever mood they're in at that particular moment. And then I thought to myself, how many people have thrown away, in this case, a dream of writing, thinking that they're not good, when you've got old conservatives who don't really understand the internet because they came up on the printing press making shots. And then I was like, oh, hold on. Wait a minute. Somebody give me a piece of paper because I'm going to start making a list of the shit I don't like, and then I'm going to do it the opposite way. Because this shit is for the birds. Like, all of it is arbitrary and none of it has grounds. None of it is founded on anything. Like, the amount of people I see like on Instagram sharing their music, it's delicious. And they're really thinking that they can't be somebody because mainstream media isn't picking them up. And I think that a lot of us fall into this trap of thinking that things are over for us, thinking that we have run into a wall when the wall never existed. The wall was idealistic people making shit up. Like, that's it. Just making it up. And then forgetting what they said. And then being a little cranky because they forgot to eat lunch, making major decisions that other people think impact their life. I was like, I feel like this shit goes deeper than we think it goes. Because I'm sitting there like, wait, no, hold on. You said in the last meeting, like you said that all of these things were important, and now you're saying that all of these things, is my wig crooked? Hold on. And now you're saying that all of this shit doesn't fucking matter anymore. You said that in order to get a deal, someone had to do this, and this. And then you gave that person a deal who did none of it. You're full of shit. People are out here really listening to you, throwing their fucking dreams away. Okay. And then there was another thing that caught my eye. There's also a group of people who have figured this out. there was about 100 people that were in that meeting. About half of them were not there to be traditionally published. They were like, no, we're doing this shit ourselves. But I'm here for industry tea. I'm here for industry information and for industry knowledge. You know what I mean? To figure out how I'm going to do my own thing, kind of thing, right? And then what I realized was like, no, there's actually a wave of people who are doing it, but they're quiet. And so people think that nothing is being done and that there's no option or possibility for them because the wave of people who are doing it themselves, but doing it quietly, they're not talking. It's not a loud conversation. And so there's no representation. And so people do not have representation of people in anything, in any industry, in any art form, doing it themselves. There's no representation. And so people are really out here throwing their dreams away thinking that they can't do it when they can do it. When they can absolutely fucking do it. But people don't know. Isn't that crazy? That's why it's important to never take people's shit and keep doing your thing until you make it. I resonate, but I gotta come back. What does it mean to make it? Because that's something else that I can rip apart. Like, what does that mean? You realize the idea of making it is a product of capitalism and the Industrial Revolution and 401k plans and retirement. We're not really supposed to be doing anything. We're supposed to be living the life of a Yorkie. We're all supposed to be acting like Duchess. Where is she? She is lounging on her dog-sized couch. Not dog bed. A dog-sized couch. She's got her own furniture. And she's lounging. And that's what she does. That's how she spends her life. She lounges. And all of her needs are taken care of. And that's really what we're supposed to be doing. But then cue the Industrial Revolution and them having us outside of the house for an ungodly amount of time, convincing us that success means that we work hard and it's blood, sweat, and tears, and everything must hurt. And that you have to be old to get somewhere, because if they say to you, oh, you can make it when you're 25, they can't get you to work for them until you retire. They can't get you to work for them until you're 67. So they tell you that making it is hard and that it takes a long time to do. Like, that's a con. Like, making it, that's a fucking con. In my opinion. In my humble opinion. It's a con. I think it's like a scam. I really, really, really do. Because people think it creates a dynamic where you can be killing it. You can be absolutely killing it, but you think you're not doing enough, and you think you're not good enough, and you think it's not enough. And you have accomplished so many things in your life, and you have fought death, you know? And you're still fucking here after everything that you've been through, but you still think it's not enough. Because capitalism has convinced you that you have to give blood, sweat, and tears until you hit retirement. Because if it doesn't do that, you won't work for anybody. If you knew out from the gate, from the jump, out of the gate, if you knew right away that there was nothing to make, there was never anything to make. That was never the plan for any of us. There was never a golden ticket that was going to get you into Charlie's Chocolate Factory. We wouldn't do any of this shit. There's nothing to make. And so if you switch from thinking that you have to make it and then go, I'm made right now, watch how life will reorganize itself to accommodate that. The moment you're like, I'm made now, right now I'm made, your life will begin to organize itself immediately. Because right now, everything feels a little out of reach for you. Everything. A little out of reach. If you're married, you may feel like your marriage could be a little bit better. If you got kids, you feel like you could raise them a little bit better, right? Everything is a little bit out of reach for you because society has convinced the population that you're on a journey that's to be made somewhere over yonder, and that it's far away from you, and that if you keep grinding, you keep hustling, you give that blood, sweat, and tears, that maybe, hopefully, one day you'll get it. And that's why people never feel like they made it, because there's nothing to make. This is how you see like celebrities who are filthy rich, all of these accolades, mad Oscars, mad Grammys. And then they do an interview and they're like, I'm sad. I have no friends. I feel like no one loves me. I don't want to be here anymore. And you're looking at them, but look at your life. You have everything. If I had what you had, because they think that there's something to make. And it's always just out of reach, because what's happening is society has convinced you that when you hit that place, that milestone, that there's a marker for it, that there's some kind of mile marker. And there isn't. That's why people can like accomplish all the, you can graduate, just go through graduation and immediately be like, okay, what's next? And you thought you were working all of this time, doing all of this studying to make it because that was going to be your mile marker. And then you graduate and you're looking around and they give you the diploma, but you realize it's not a mile marker. God didn't come down from the clouds and give you a handshake because it was nothing to make. Like that was never part of the plan. And so if you can be like, no, I'm made now. I'm made now. I'm made in this moment, right here, right now. I'm made now. Life will reorganize itself. And the way it reorganizes itself is that you'll start to feel satisfied. Like you'll start to look at things around you and you'll feel satisfied. Like if you are someone that you're like, oh, I want nicer things. Maybe I want nicer, or why is that falling apart? Or I need to fix my house up, and you were nitpicking at it, right? Suddenly, because you're made now, you'll look around and it doesn't bother you anymore. Like you'll be like, I got a house. Okay, bitch. Like the meaning will change. Right? Like suddenly you'll look at your relationship and you're like, yeah, right. Because you realize there's no destination. There can't be a destination. We are eternal beings. And we're expanding, just like the universe is always expanding, right? Like we can understand that the universe has no end because it's always expanding, but we have a hard time accepting that we have no end either because we're always expanding. And if you made it, then that would mean you had an end. And that would mean that you're not expanding. And that would mean that you're not eternal, right? That you're not an immortal being, which you are. There's nothing to make. There's no destination. This is the biggest game of make-believe that has ever been fucking played. We are all just playing fucking pretend. That's it. That's all this is. And your job is to have fun with the shit you're making up. Like, play make-believe with fun shit. Stop playing make-believe with like really terrible, sad shit. Like, we're making this shit up. Make up good shit. Change what you're making up, because all of this is made up. People, you can look in the mirror and be like, I'm ugly. You just made this shit up. You can look in the mirror and be like, I'm fat. And what the fuck does that have to do with anything? You're making shit up. Like, what are you doing? I'm not good enough. You made that shit up. I'm not worthy. You made that shit up. You're playing make-believe. So make up good shit. Make up happy shit, funny shit, enlightening shit, comfortable shit. Satisfying shit. Pick better shit. You're making it up. The whole thing is being made up, and there's nowhere to go. Like, there's no destination, which sends me a bit into an existential moment, because technically, if there's no destination, then is there really a journey? And I ask that because we say that a lot here in spirituality land. It's a journey. It's a spiritual journey. I say that shit all the time. It's a journey. It's a spiritual journey. But if there's no destination, then is there really a journey? Or are you just making shit up? And then being fun with the shit that you're making up? Just having fun with it. That's it. Just make shit up. Oh, I missed that one. Then in your acceptance speech, be like, "Oh yeah, I got declined by X for someone who is exactly like me. Now look at me now." Not me relearning that conservatives close doors for no damn reason. I'm doing whatever I want immediately. And that's what I'm saying. Just fucking do the. It is crazy. I get it. I know. It's easier said than done. I get it, because you're like, how can I not do it? And the reason why you don't do it is because you're trained not to do it, right? It's not even that you don't do it because you don't have the strength not to do it. You're just trained really well not to do it. All of society is trained really well not to do it. What do kids do? Kids do the shit they want to do. A kid will look at the ground, get on their knees, and then lick it. Why? In their mind, they thought it would taste nice. They just made that shit up. Kids always do what they want to do. And then us adults spend their time or our time telling them to stop it, to stop doing that. So that's where it starts, right? Stop doing the shit you want to do. Then they go to school and then they get in trouble a couple of times. You get written up or something because the teacher's like, stop doing the shit you want to do. So doing the shit we want to do is actually natural, but it gets trained out of us. And then you go to work and then there's a bunch of consequences if you do shit that you want to do. And then it's like consequence after consequence, and then reinforcement after reinforcement, but it's all negative reinforcement. And so what happens is that we then get afraid to do the things that we actually want to do, which really sucks. But that's really what's happening. But the people who are telling you not to do the things you want to do are also equally making shit up. They're even making up the rules for why you shouldn't be doing it. Like, what? Like, they just made that shit up. Like, I've been saying that to people. Like, when people say shit, I be like, you made that shit up. Like, someone said to me, they went, I just feel like no one likes me. And I was like, you just made that shit up. And I was like, first of all, don't project that shit onto me because I didn't say that. Second of all, you just made that shit up. Like, pick new shit. And pick fun shit. Pick the stuff that you actually want to do. Like, have you ever, I'm going to give you an exercise. Have you ever just had a moment? Let's pick a day when you're off. Because someone's going to hit me with that. I'm tired. Okay, I get it. Pick a day when you're off. Have you ever had a moment where you just like laid there in the bed for a moment, or even was just sitting on the couch and you were like, what would be fun? What could I do right now that would be fun? What could I make up right now that would be fun? Remember when you were a kid and you used to mix cereals together because you were like on a quest to discover new flavors? Or juice to discover something new? And as a kid, the sense of wonder you had and the curiosity that you had about the world, because you were just always making shit up to see what would happen, to see what the outcome would be, to see what was on the other side, and how fun that was. And how when you would get with your friends or a sibling you would say, let's play make-believe. Remember as a kid when make-believe was a game and you would come up with a scenario? Did you notice that kids never come up with the ending? When they play make-believe, they come up with the characters, maybe the roles, maybe the premise, but never the ending. Because the beauty of make-believe is seeing how it ends. It's seeing how it finishes itself. That's the wonder. That's what makes it fun to do. And kids know that at any point in time when they're playing, if they don't like the plot, they can change it. And they do. Ever try to play Tea Party with a little girl and how fast she switches up on you? And you'd be like, whoa, hold on. I didn't think that. And she didn't like the plot. She changed it. And you can do that too with life. If you don't like the plot, you can change it. You don't have to like run the same plot. You could be like, hold up. This is not working. And just change the plot. You can change the characters. You can change the arcs. Oh, you can get so dramatic with it. Just make shit up. But just choose good shit. You know, choose good shit. Anyway, I've been rambling. I've been going on. I had a long list of shit I wanted to talk about, but I didn't get to any of it. Wait, hold on. What else is on this list? Did I get to that? No, I didn't get to that. It wasn't meant for that. It is what it is. They don't let you bring up past rules. Yeah, girl. Girl? I'll just be assuming. They do be making you can't when they change the plot. That's it. They said what they said. They said what they said. And they mean it. And they'll fight tooth and nail for it too. They said what they said. Like, what if you lived your life like that though? Like, what if you what if you guarded your life, the plot of your life, in the same way a little girl guards how she runs her tea parties? You recognize like how successful you'd be if you ran your life like a tea party? That shit would be on point. Everything would be served on time. Okay, well, maybe. It depends on what little girl it is. Anyway, do you guys have any questions? If you don't have any questions, I'm a hop. You know? Go eat some dinner. Let me know if you guys want to talk about something. If you guys are curious about something. Because I recognize I do a lot of talking, and so sometimes you have questions, but you're waiting for me to pause, and then I never do. It's my show. I'll give it a minute just because there's a delay. What you guys thinking? What's on your mind? Do you guys have imposter syndrome? Is that something that you struggle with? Because I can read you for filth really quick and snap you out of it. I'm really good at that. I'm really good at like snapping people out of it. I'm like that because I need that, right? Like I talk to you guys like how I need someone to talk to me, right? Like it's like particularly like in spirituality, everyone has like a sing-songy voice, and we're going to breathe. Inhale. Everyone did a good job. Now exhale. We're going to release the sorrows of the past. I'm having a nervous meltdown, and you're telling me to breathe really slowly. That's not cutting it for me. I need someone to be like, bitch, step out of it. Kiara Reed says, do you do readings? I don't do readings, dear. Not anymore. I haven't done readings for a very long time, actually. It's been a long time since I've done readings. But They do come out naturally on their own. Like if I'm talking to someone and then I'm picking up on stuff like in conversation, it'll come out naturally by itself. But like I don't like sit down at the table anymore and like deal cards kind of thing, if that's what you're asking. Dixie says I'm gonna have to rewatch this one because I had a lot of good gems. It had a lot of good gems and I needed to hear good. And Kara says she came to the video late. Again, I keep doing that. I hope I'm not out here just misgendering people. Have you noticed that nobody else wants to turn the sad ship around in the US? Nobody wants to be happy anymore. And man, I love my friends, but good God, it feels like a bad luck charm every time. It's because it's frequency. That's what it is. It's not that they don't want to, it's a frequency. Have I noticed it? Absolutely. Like absolutely I've noticed it, but it's a frequency issue. And it's hard to step out of it when you are not in control of your own frequency. Everyone that's in it is not in control of their own frequency. That's why they're so susceptible to it. And that's why they can't snap out of it, because they're not in control of their frequency. They can't see it. They can't sense it. They don't know when it's being manipulated, which it is right now. My imposter syndrome is dying. I'm legit on a roll with my spiritual journey. And I started full on getting back into drawing. Oh, in plot game development. I love that. I'm a fella, but didn't catch offense. Yeah. I suck. Man, I thought you were one of me this whole time. Sorry. Well, I mean, you're a fella, but like, I don't mean a whole lot. Like, he, she, they. I ask because this is a very like she, they, and gay kind of audience. We don't get too many heteros over here type thing. All right, guys. Well, if you've got quiet, I'm gonna go quiet. Trans guy. Okay. That doesn't answer my. I mean, I'm just gonna call you Yaya, and I'm gonna. Really, what I was getting at was I was getting at pronouns. You know what I mean? But like, maybe it's the internet. Maybe you don't want to tell me, or maybe you don't feel comfortable, or maybe you're like, hey, not in this company. All the things that I respect. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna head out. I'm gonna love you, and I'm gonna leave you. Bye.